And we're here today. We're with Amelia, and today's date, I believe, is April the 7th.
April the 7th,
April
yes.
the 7th. And you grew up in Black Mesa, Arizona?
Black Rock.
Black Rock, okay. Black Rock, Arizona. And do you regularly go home? Do you go back and visit?
Once in a while.
Once in a while?
Yeah, once in a while.
When's the last time you've been to Black Rock?
2001.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's been a while since you've been back there. And you've been sharing with me some really interesting stories growing up there on the reservation. Some very terrifying stories.
Yeah, I do.
One of the things I want to talk about, because I've heard these stories before where children are home alone and some kind of creature, specter comes and terrorizes these poor kids. This happened to you, and you were about 10 years old at the time?
Yes.
And what first drew your attention to that there was something going on? I think you said something about knocks on the door.
Yes, there was some knocks on the door, and my cousin went to check it out, but there was nobody at the front door, and she locked it back, the top and the bottom, and then she came back, and I noticed that there was somebody standing there after she was walking back. I saw like a person just standing there watching us.
Now, what kind of outside light did you have? Was there a utility light or a porch light? Or
porch light. There was a porch light.
And was it the porch light that was helping you see this individual? Was it a dark night?
It was dark, and there was the porch light. You could see the person standing there.
Okay. And at first, did you think it was a person?
Yes.
What made you change your mind about this being a regular person?
It was a regular person because it just went after my cousin was coming back. I noticed that there was something weird because that person was just standing there. That person was stiff. It wouldn't move or anything. It was just watching us. Just kept on watching us, and I told her slowly turn off the lights. I told her that, and she went to turn off the lights. She slowly went and turned off the lights, and then we were sitting there for a while, and I told her just to try and go to sleep for a while. She tried to do it, but she said she couldn't sleep. I just told her just to lay there for a while, and after a while, like a couple minutes later, she went. A couple minutes, was 1 o'clock in the morning. That person just disappeared, and I was looking over there, and I didn't see that person standing there no more. And all of a sudden, it came back, and that person went and must have been a person or something, because it started walking on the roof. It sounded like horse tracks, and we're wondering what it was, but my cousin looked like she was too scared, and I told her just to put her fingers in her ears and not listen to it, and not all. And my cousins, I stuck them in the back room because they were tired, and I told them not to listen to it.
What ages were your cousins?
They were 9 and 3 years old.
And it sounds like your concern was for these children then, at the time. Did you actually, as far as this person, did you actually get a good look at its face?
Yes, it looked like somebody I knew long ago, but it couldn't have been a person, because after a while, when that person was walking on the roof, it stopped around 3. It stopped around 3, and it stopped for a while, and then I was keeping an eye on my cousins. I went and told my cousin not to go near the windows. I told her not to go near the windows, or just to go. I told her not to go near the windows or to go see who it was. I just told her to stay there, and that person just took off, and later on it came back, but I was checking on my cousins at that time in the back room. I told her not to go anywhere, or just to go check in the window. I told her not to go anywhere, and I just went. I I went and I checked on them already in the bedroom. They were sound asleep, and I made sure that they were okay. And then I heard my cousin crying in the living room, and I was wondering what she was doing. And she just started crying, and I kind of ran in the living room, and I went close to I was wondering where she was, and she looked like she was kind of scared or whatever, and she just stood there by the door. I was wondering what she was scared of, and she saw somebody standing there. This time it was somebody looked like a form of a wolf that had red eyes, and they were just watching her. They must have did something to her because she was frozen. She just stood there for a long time, and I just kind of yelled at her. I told her, I go, Katrina. I called her name, and I kind of yelled at her in a kind of high-pitched voice, and she just went. She finally got out of it. She's like, oh, and I went and I told her not to go near that again, and I went and was kind of crawling towards her, and that person that just started looking at her tried keeping her there, like just wanted her to try and open the door. Just kept her there, tried telling her to open the door, but she was just frozen like that. And then
Did you see the wolf appearance of this person?
Yes, I did.
And you saw did you say it was red glowing eyes?
Yes, red.
And you saw the eyes too. How close to the window that you guys were looking at?
Oh,
How close was it?
It was really close to the window. We're like that much.
Yikes.
We're that much close to it, and it just started looking at my cousin. I was trying to tell her to get away from the window. I was trying to tell her to get away from there, but that thing started breathing on the window too also at the same time.
Did it fog the window up?
It kind of fogged it up.
What time of year was this?
It was probably like around, it's probably like in the summer.
In the summertime?
But it was still kind of cold.
Still kind of cold?
Still kind of chilly in the mornings. We kept the fire going all night, so we wouldn't, so that thing wouldn't come down the chimney or anything, so we kept the fire going all that time. We kept the fire going all night, and we made sure that she was okay. I made sure that the other two were okay, and then she was alright, because I actually got her away from the window.
So when you got her away from the window, what happened next?
After I got her away from the window, that thing, it just kept on trying to look at her, and I tried snapping my fingers in front of her and tried not to get that thing to come inside, but I just tried getting her away from the window.
Do you think it had some kind of power over her? I mean,
yes.
Really? And I'm not leading you. I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, she was in a trance-like state. You had to snap her out of it.
I was trying to snap her out of it, and I finally smacked her, and she got out of it, and I was telling her, I go, you were standing here for a long time. I was wondering if you were going to ever come out of it, and I pulled her away from the window, and that thing just started banging on the door, on the windows, and it tried breaking through, and then it started scratching on the windows. That thing was just trying to scare us or whatever.
Did it make any vocalizations, like any?
Oh, yeah, it did.
What kind of sounds was it making?
It was kind of screaming, like a girl yell or something.
Like a girl scream?
Yeah, like a girl screaming. It tried screaming. It tried hypnotizing her again. It tried screaming. But I told her to close her ears, and I was just looking at that person. I was just watching it and making sure that it wasn't hypnotizing me too, but I wasn't scared of it. I was trying to tell it to an apple, trying to tell it go away, telling it trying to tell it an apple to go away. And I tried saying the west and the east and south stuff. what my grandmas they used to say. I was trying to tell it to go away, and I was trying to call then at that time it was trying to hypnotize me. It was trying to hypnotize me, but it couldn't hypnotize me because I wasn't looking straight at it, because I was keeping an eye on my cousin. I was making sure she wasn't looking at it, and I told her to go to sleep.
Now, you told me earlier that this thing was taller than your front door?
Yes, it was taller than my front door.
You know, typical door is like 6.5,
Yeah.
7 feet. So it was taller than that. So
yeah, it was
this
taller
thing's
than
pushing
that.
8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what happened after that? You get her away from the window. You snap her out of her trance. Does this thing hang around? Does
yeah,
it stay?
it was still trying to bang on the windows, trying to break them and whatnot, trying to come in, but it couldn't, because it just tried hypnotizing her again, because I wanted her to open up the doors. It tried hypnotizing her, but I told her not to look in the eyes, and I covered her, and I closed her eyes, and I made sure that she wasn't looking right at it. She was laying down, but she was still looked like she was trying to look at her, and I kept on getting in her way, and I made sure that she wasn't hypnotized by it, and I was making sure all of us were staying awake. I was the only one staying awake, actually.
So is this a common thing to become hypnotized by one of these things?
Yes.
They draw your attention in and
Yes.
hypnotize you.
They try and put you inside of a trance and whatnot, and they try and do that to you all the time. They try and do that to you at first, try and hypnotize you, and then they try and make you open objects and whatnot, but they can't open the objects themselves.
What happens when they get inside? Obviously you have to invite them in then.
Yes,
for them to be able to get in.
You have to try and invite them in. But my cousin, she couldn't. She was trying to fight it at first. I could. The second time the second time I was trying to hypnotize her again. She was fighting it. She was trying to fight it too. I told her I was going like this, trying to hang on to her, go like this, and I kept on going like this, trying to hang on to her, making sure she wasn't that cold, making sure she wasn't hypnotized or anything. And I kept on telling her, think of your family before you do anything. And I kept on telling her, I just kept on talking to her until she was like unhypnotized by that thing. That's why.
Wow, that's something amazing. So this is kind of a new take on things. I've heard rumors of this, of these type creatures being able to hypnotize people.
Yeah.
And you were a brave little girl.
Yeah.
Kids left home alone.
Yeah.
Frightening. Another one of the many frightening stories off the Navajo reservation. How long did this thing hang around after that?
After that, it was almost day, so it must have stayed around until like around 6, and it just got scared of the light, because I think it was kind of scared, so it must have just ran off. Because the next morning when my grandparents came, the ones that's their house, my grandpa and my grandma, they came back, and then my mom, she came back too, and my other grandpa and grandma, they came back also. And I told my cousin to make a promise to me that we would talk about this when we got older, and not with our family members, because they wouldn't believe us, because there's no sign of a struggle, there's no sign of a struggle, and there's nobody that came in at all.
Yeah.
So my cousin just decided, she goes, okay, we won't talk about this until later on when we get older. And when I was leaving, I went and she stopped me for a while, and I told her that my grandma was sitting up there, which kind of acting strange. She looked like she kind of had a grin on her face. She was sitting in the same spot the night before, and I was wondering why she was sitting there. She looked like she had a grin on her face, and I was telling my cousin, our grandma's sitting up there. She's just watching us. She looks like she has a grin on her face. I wonder what she was doing.
So you think she may have had something to do with that type of visitation? Yes. Once again, this is reminiscent of other stories, even with Caucasian people. They get up on the roof and stomp around and just terrorize you. And the size of this creature, he's 8 foot tall. If he wanted to get through that window, he could. If he wanted to take your door down, he could. There's something holding them back. And I know that you told me you were praying, and that was probably a really good idea.
I was praying before that, so I was lucky.
Well, you were blessed. I'll tell you, thank you for this interview. We'll be talking some more, Amelia. And at the time, thank you for being such a brave little girl.
Okay.
God bless you.
Okay.